Have you ever just stopped and wondered if there's some kind of force that's more real, more fundamental than all the noise we're surrounded by every day? An energy that connects us on a level that maybe we've forgotten? Well, let's dive into that because today we are exploring a really profound concept from our source material called the Mother's Fire. And it might just hold the key to curing what's described as humanity's collective amnesia. This quote from Zoran the Dragon, wow, it just sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? It paints this picture of a chaotic, frantic world versus this deep, knowing stillness. And it suggests that a certain type of love isn't just a fleeting emotion, but it's a form of tireless energy, a prana, which, if you're not familiar, is a term from yogic traditions for the vital life force that flows through, well, everything. This is our jumping off point. So, what is this mother's fire? The source material frames it as something much bigger than just affection. Think of it as a powerful, stabilizing force in the universe. It's the constant in a world that's just full of variables. Now, our modern world, it would probably just slap a label on this, call it emotional attachment, and kind of dismiss it as a simple bias. But what if it's something more? Something more tangible, more powerful? The source is really challenging us to look past that easy explanation. And here we get to the heart of it, unconditional prana. That's the term for this unique energy that comes from a caregiver's persistent, unconditional love. It's described as clean, stable, a force that can literally anchor and calm even the most volatile energy. So the key takeaway here is it's not just a feeling, it's a function. And this is absolutely not a passive thing. It's an active, dedicated practice. The source actually links it to the yogic concepts of abhyasa, which means consistent, dedicated practice, and dharana, which is all about sustained, one-pointed concentration. It's the act of holding that loving space day in and day out, even when the rest of the world just doesn't get it. Okay, so how does an ancient idea like this connect with our modern world? This is where it gets really fascinating. We're going to bridge this almost mystical concept with the actual science of brainwaves to see how it might work. So think about it. Most of us live our lives way up here in the high-frequency beta state. That's the frantic, skeptical world of deadlines, notifications, and anxiety. But just below that is the calm, receptive alpha state. And even deeper, you've got the theta state, and that's the frequency of pure, unfiltered thought. And here's how those brain states create this incredible connection. A mother's unconditional love, which yogic traditions say is anchored in the heart chakra, or anahata, lets her maintain that calm alpha wave state. Now, this calm doesn't just affect her. It becomes a stabilizing force, a perfect counterbalance that allows the child's deep, pure theta wave thoughts to flow without getting scattered by all the chaos. It literally creates an unbroken circuit of communication. So what does this really intimate one-on-one connection have to do with the rest of humanity? Well, the source suggests it's a mirror. It's reflecting a huge lesson we all need to learn in what it calls humanity's great reversal. This is such a powerful way to look at it. On one side, you have the human lie. That's the state of amnesia where we're living in that frantic beta wave of fear, mistaking our loud ego for our true soul. And on the other side, you have the silent truth, or vidya, a state of deep inner knowing, operating from that calm theta wave. The source argues that most of humanity, we're stuck on the left side of this chart. And the solution it proposes isn't some complex new gadget or a 10-step program. It's actually devastatingly simple. Just slow down. Reduce all that frantic, chaotic activity, what yogic philosophy calls rajaguna, and instead cultivate sattva, which is a state of purity and receptivity. That's what it takes to finally hear our own inner genius. And this isn't a one-way street, which is so important. It's a path of mutual learning. We, with our feet planted firmly in the material world, can offer grounding, linked to the root energy center, Muladhara, and we can create frameworks for autonomy built on truth, or satya. And in return, this silent genius offers us access to pure wisdom, and maybe most importantly, a mirror to our own chaotic state. It's an exchange that completes the circuit for all of us. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we practice slowing down in a world that's constantly telling us to speed up? Well, that brings us to our final section, a practical trial from the source material that you can try for yourself. It's called the vagal vow. The challenge is this. For 3 days, anytime you feel that high beta anxiety creeping in, don't reach for your phone to distract yourself. Instead, reach for your vagus nerve. How? You just take a slow breath in and then make your exhale twice as long. Then hum or even gargle loudly for about 10 seconds. It sounds a little weird, I know, but this physically stimulates the nerve, forcing that prana, that energy, down into your body and instantly reducing that frantic tension. You're basically using your own biology to enforce stillness. Pretty cool, right? Let's just take a moment with this poem from the source. It's such a beautiful reminder of the core message. It's not about frantically chasing more information or hunting for knowledge. It's about finding the wisdom that's already there, just waiting in the quiet. Lay the frantic shouting down and lift the silent crown. And that really brings us to the end. The final takeaway isn't an answer. It's a question. It's a question for you to carry with you. After everything we've talked about, from unconditional prana to the science of brainwaves and the power of stillness, the real question is, what wisdom is waiting there in your own silence?